You say what you want about Stefanski. The guy makes Jacoby Brissett play like a fucking top 5 quarterback. Now, he did make a horrendous throw at the end of that game. And we should have won the game. Our field goal kick. We should be 5-0 right now. Conversely, the Bengals have major problems. Your quarterback, there's no way Burrow should be this bad with that offense. I mean, all he wants to do is push the ball to Chase. I think you guys really need to start thinking about C.J. Stroud. I mean, seriously, this dude's struggling. You got all these weapons. He holds the ball too long. I think you're starting to see this dude ain't that good. That thing last year was a fluke. That was one of the greatest flukes ever, but I think you're starting to see Joe Burrow's not that guy. He's just not. And you're seeing it because your offense, 17 points with those players against that shitty defense? You already know what Cleveland's going to do to you.
Yeah, you're definitely not watching the games. You're watching highlights. Joe Burrow gets rid of the ball 7th quickest in the NFL. 7th quickest. Okay? The problem is Brian Callahan, who's never called plays before, our offensive coordinator, Zach Taylor, who before becoming our head coach hadn't called plays before. He's dog shit. Stefanski called a work of art compared to what Zach Taylor did. Okay? This Tampa 2 antiquated defense, yet the Bengals can't beat it. Want to know why? Look at our route tree. We're running 12 yards to the sidelines, 12-yard curls. We're running flag patterns. Why aren't we going across the middle? Why aren't we putting Chase, who is our best receiver, obviously, in the slot? You'd think we'd do that by now. But everybody's calling to do it, but we won't do it. Want to know why? Because we need an offensive coordinator who's called plays before. Okay? You can't blame Joe Burrow for this. The guy's not running a pattern. You can't throw to an area where nobody's running to. You can't throw it across the middle if nobody's running to it. He's hitting our open receivers. They're just running dog shit routes. But Jacoby Brissett is dog shit. Yeah, he's a dog shit quarterback, and you know it. Browns are in trouble. Bengals are going to rebound.
Listen, we have the same record as you with our backup quarterback. And our defense is playing horrendous like it did last year. Then it became a top 3 defense at the end of the year. Joe Burrow, I don't know why you defend Joe Burrow. This guy's got the best weapons in the NFL. Eddie is struggling. He holds on to the ball too long. He's just not good. And the reason they're playing that defense, they're taking away the deep ball from Jamar Chase. And guess what? Joe Burrow that's all he does is key on Jamar Chase. If you notice that. He's like Baker Mayfield with Odell Beckham. Joe Burrow can't beat it. He holds the ball too long. And I'll be honest with you, he can't read defenses. He cannot read defenses. And his arm is a cream puff. And, hey, honestly, tell the truth. You wish you had Justin Herbert. If you had Justin Herbert, your team would be unbelievable offensively. Joe Mixon sucks. Now, we're going to trade Kareem Hunt because we don't need him. Nick Chubb is a beast. Once our defense gets fixed, our offense is still good enough to win games with Brissett. He made the stupidest throw. It was almost like a Joe Burrow throw. Horrible throw. But, Burrow's horrible. You got to stop defending him. If you had Justin Herbert right now, I'd be scared of your team. But you don't.
I'll stop listening to you when you stop talking about your team. Nick Chubb is an absolute beast. I can admit it. Absolute fucking stud. Kareem Hunt, stud. We'd never trade for him. We paid too much money for Joe Mixon. It was stupid. Yeah, I don't pay any running. Just about 3 running backs I pay. And Nick Chubb is one of them. And probably Kareem Hunt be another one. But you can't pay them both. Anyway, you're not watching. First of all, Joe Burrow can read defenses. That's what he does. He can't read it. He knows what they're running. He doesn't have to read it. The problem is our offensive coordinators are not having our receivers just don't run whatever routes they want. I think you're smart enough to understand that they don't just run whatever route they want. Okay, they're supposed to find a hole in the zone. You run a route and you run that route according to the zone, and then you find a little gap in that zone. You sit there, you run through it, they throw you the ball. They're not doing that. Jamar Chase is still running flag routes out to the sidelines. They're not moving him around. They're making it impossible. If there's nowhere to throw the ball, you can't throw the ball. He's not holding the ball too long. We've been over this. 7th quickest in the NFL, getting rid of the ball. What does it tell you? So stop talking in circles. Bengals will get through this because Burrow's a fucking beast. And you know what? Herbert is a beast. I'd take Herbert in a second, but you know what? I like to make the playoffs. And you'll see here in the future that Herbert, that's going to be his thing, not making the playoffs one way or the other.
You make every excuse in the world for Joe Burrow. It's hilarious. The guy's got a cream puff arm. He holds the ball too long. It's not the route run. The bottom line is they took away the deep ball from Chase, and he's like Baker Mayfield was with Odell Beckham Jr. He doesn't know what to do. This guy's open. He can't fit the ball in them tight windows. You know why? Because it was a flutter ball. Weak arm. They'll pick it off. He's scared to pull the trigger. That's why he holds the ball too long. In reality, Joe Burrow's probably the 14th or 15th, but he's a top 15 quarterback. That's it. And you know it. And as far as Herbert goes, the only reason he's not making the playoffs is because he's got a dumbass head coach. That's why. If Joe Burrow had Jacoby Brissett's arm strength, he might be a different quarterback. I mean, he does have a weak arm, Burrow. And the Browns, we'll fix our defense. I'm not even worried about it. Wait till Watson comes back. If we're within striking distance of that division, we probably will because that division sucks. We're taking it all. We're going to win the whole damn thing. We won't go there and fooled. We'll win it. But yeah, you got to stop making excuses for Burrow. He's average at best. All this, you know who he is? Cody Kessler. And I know you know who that is. He's just not that good. He's got the best talent. He's the beneficiary of great talent around him at LSU and at the Bengals. Take away Jamar Chase, average.
You know you're hearing me, but you're not understanding me. It's obvious you don't have football intelligence, and that's okay. It's not your fault. But then I'm listening to Albert Breer, and you know what? He said something that was like an epiphany. The Kansas City Chiefs went through this exact same thing last year. The exact same thing. Their offensive line was dog shit. Okay, dog shit. Everybody played a cover 2 on them. Okay, 2 safeties high because they were trying to beat the deep ball, and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they were struggling with it. Couldn't score touchdowns, couldn't win games. Everybody thought they weren't going to make the playoffs. And then slowly, they started winning, scoring points. By the end of the year, their offensive line was a strength on their team. And Pat Mahomes was back to the old Pat Mahomes. If they wouldn't have lost the AFC Championship to the Bengals, they probably would have won the Super Bowl. So I'm not worried. You should be worried because you guys have to be perfect the rest of the year. Because if you're not perfect, that means Sean Watson's going to have to be perfect. And I don't feel like he's going to go 6-0. I just don't. He's rusty. He hasn't played in years. He's not confident. He thinks the world hates him. He's a predator. And I think he's going to struggle 3-3. So, no more mistakes for old.
Well, first of all, you're talking about Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. And then we're talking about Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow's a top 15 quarterback at best. Mahomes is a top 5. So, right there, you already lost. Andy Reid's a top 3 coach. Zach Taylor's a bottom 3 coach. You're lost again. You have to start realizing the problem really is Joe Burrow. I mean, it's so easy. Just take the underneath stuff. He just doesn't have the arm talent to even drive the ball to those short routes. He just doesn't. Players are jumping the routes. When you have a weak, see, this is what I keep telling you about weak arm. I know you were thinking, this guy says he can't throw 60 yards. Anyone can throw a deep ball. Burrow don't have the arm talent to push the ball across the middle. He just doesn't. And that's why he's holding the ball too long. He's scared. He's gun shy. He doesn't want to get picked off. That's why he had the second interceptions last year in the NFL, because his arm's weak. And he's scared to lead the league this year. I think he's got 6 this year. So Burrow's just not that good. You got to start realizing Joe Burrow's not what you think he is. He's a 15, 16, 14, 15, between 14 and 17. That's who he is. And you got way too much talent offensively to score 17 points against a terrible defense.